right. You got to give him props. Is when you have a built-in fan base. In other words, it's not just that you're of a certain ethnic or national group, but you're undefeated. You've been groomed and promoted as maybe the future star that group's fan base will follow. You're risking a lot because you have a built-in economic engine behind you. And when you're a guy who can be put in a position to pick and choose, and you choose Boots, Gabe, what does that say?
Absolutely. This is a fight he definitely didn't have to take, man. You know, he's a 2-division champion right now.
I don't know who wins this. I think I would have to, if I had to pick, I would give Boots the edge. All right, guy that's a little twitchier, a little more athletic, hits hard, switch hitter, and then Xander. Xander's really, really good, right? Talk about a guy that has improved from a young guy to where he is now. Right, he's not scared, can box with the best, he can move, he can punch, got good defense. So it's gonna be a tough fight.
Facing a guy that is as big as you, that is as athletic as you, that is as composed, as smart as you, it's a whole different story.
He was. Bro, it's like, he just chatting. He just talking. He knows what's coming on June 27th. He can't stop nothing that's coming to him.
When the highly anticipated Virgil Ortiz fight collapsed, a 23-year-old stepped up and demanded the smoke. Xander Zayas didn't just quietly accept the fight, he aggressively pursued it. What followed was a massive shift in the narrative. Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith sat down and dropped a prediction that left purists speechless. Kellerman didn't call it a mismatch or a guaranteed blowout. He looked at the tape, ran the numbers, and labeled this a true 50-50 unification war. Sure, he gave Boots a razor-thin 60-40 edge, purely based on veteran experience, but the underlying message was clear. The industry is stunned because Zayas isn't supposed to be here yet, and Kellerman's breakdown suggests the golden boy from Puerto Rico might actually possess the exact tools needed to derail the Ennis hype train.
Mike, we talk about all the time, like, it's one thing to say, Boots is this future superstar. He beat this guy and that guy and that guy. Meantime, when you actually make the fights, and it's like, oh, he's really going to fight that guy? Is he going to win? Where are you with this?
Where I am, Max, is that I want to give a lot of credit to Xander Zayas. You know, Xander Zayas, young guy, and he wanted this fight. He called for the fight, and he made it happen quick after the Virgil Ortiz Boots fight fell apart. So fair play to Xander. He has a lot of confidence in himself, even though he's going to be the underdog. And you're right, Boots hasn't proven anything yet. Not his fault, but he hasn't fought anyone. He looks special. Now we're going to find out, is he special?
Also, the thing about Xander, you're right, you got to give him props, is when you have a built-in fan base. In other words, it's not just that you're of a certain ethnic or national group, but you're undefeated. You've been groomed and promoted as maybe the future star that group's fan base will follow. You're risking a lot because you have a built-in economic engine behind you. And when you're a guy who can be put in a position to pick and choose, and you choose Boots, Gabe, what does that say?
Absolutely. This is a fight he definitely didn't have to take, man. You know, he's a 2-division champion right now. And for him to choose the toughest guy on paper right now, I mean, skill-wise, Boots, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. He could have went a different route, but he chose the best guy.
By the way,
but taking the fight and surviving the fire are two very different things. When you strip away the promotional hype and dive into the raw fight tape, glaring tactical weaknesses emerge for both men. Whispers inside training camps have pinpointed a highly specific, dangerous flaw in Zayas' armor. When he gets into heated exchanges, he has a predictable rhythm of leaning his head off-center to the left. It's a subtle habit, but against a lethal counterpunching sniper like Boots, it's a massive red flag. One mistimed lean into a short right hand could turn the lights out entirely.
All right, so you were saying you watched the tape of Xander Zayas,
Right.
and you kind of touched on that. You know, he gets himself in certain spots where he doesn't throw punches. Go ahead and elaborate.
So when he's in the middle, so when he's on the center line, he might throw punches, but there's no power behind him. And if he's sitting on his right hand, same thing. He throws punches, quick shots, but those aren't the really dangerous shots. When he's trying to exchange and he wants to hurt you, you'll see his head go off center to the left over and over again. So he peaks, sort of like, I remember Salvador Sanchez used to hit you with those Jones, but then he'll peek over. So he'll peek over, throw a quick right hand, or he'll peek over, and if you freeze, or if he catches the right look that he's looking for, he's shooting a left hook or left hand to the body or left hand to the head almost every time. You know what I mean? And he throw it with weight and with power. That's what he does to try to hurt his opponents, right? But that gets him caught because that's his rhythm. Every time he was there against Sparmer was hitting him with short right hands and was just timing his move. Like whenever he would peek over here, that short right hand was coming almost every time, and Sparmer was catching him right on the chin with those. And then when he's pulling back out of that, he's catching him with hooks. So he was short right hands, left hooks almost all day. It's just that Sparmer was a smaller guy and couldn't really hurt him, but he was hitting him. And that's what I pay attention to, is like, Boots is fast enough and athletic enough to still catch you in those positions, but it's not like you're fighting a smaller guy. Boots can hurt you if you get caught clean like that.
However, Boots isn't walking into the ring invincible either. Critics have uncovered a hidden crack in his foundation as well. Despite his elite status, Ennis has a habit of fighting with his ego, getting overly aggressive, and taking completely unnecessary damage from lower tier fighters. If he carelessly walks into the pocket looking for a viral finish, he might hand Zayas the exact opening he needs to land a devastating body shot.
Yeah. And also I'm thinking about is if you really watch Boots does look special all the time. But there's cases where he gets hit a lot. And you're like, man, for you to be so good and so special, why are you getting hit from some of these lower class fighters? So Xander might have seen that. So you know what? Yeah, I know Boots is special. I know he's really, really good, etc. But I see things in this game where I can exploit. And I think when you
tell you something, no, you don't get to say all this right now.
Why not?
Because I have certain information about things we're going to talk about later in this show.
Oh, you're wrong about that.
And you are sitting there, you were talking about Boots like he'd already done it. And we were arguing sometimes because I'm saying, yeah, he might do it, but we actually got to see it.
I agree with that.
And now that it comes time to actually make the fights,
okay.
And to be honest, junior middleweight is a good and deep division.
Yes, it is.
I don't see any pound for pound top 5 guys at the top of that division, maybe not top 10 guys at the top of that division. And now that it's time to fight the top of a division with no top 10 pound for pound guys in it, you don't know who's going to win between Boots and those guys.
What I said was, if I had to pick it's a close fight. We're not going to have it's not a close fight. It's a close fight for one. For two, is if I had to pick a guy, right?
Whenever a matchup carries this much weight, the politics outside the ring become just as dangerous as the punches inside it. Right now, a quiet rumor is sweeping through the boxing community, and it has fans seriously questioning what happens if this battle goes the distance. Analysts from channels like Fight IQ are openly debating a controversial theory. Could the judging be subtly influenced to protect the investments?
I thought he was really terrific, fought a very intelligent fight. He was in with a very, very tough Mexican, real good puncher, and he did great.
Yeah. Thank you. Bob getting love. They still love Bob. What do you want to see next for Xander?
Well, I don't know about the opponent, but I want to make his first title defense in Puerto Rico this winter.
Who do you think could be the mega fight for him? Do you think a guy like Jaron Ennis in the future makes the most sense?
That would be really good. Ennis is a really good fighter. That would be a major fight.
Zayas isn't just a talented fighter, he is a massive economic engine with an entire fan base rallying behind him and filling arenas. On the flip side, Ennis is the undeniable elite talent holding the interim crown in a division overflowing with messy sanctioning fees and corporate politics. If the rounds are close, there is a very real fear that the scorecards might mysteriously edge toward a draw. This outcome would protect both Golden Geese and set up an incredibly lucrative rematch. It's the dark side of the sport that nobody wants to talk about on broadcast television, but the stakes are simply too high for promoters to risk losing their future stars.
Can you randomly
losing this fight? They're both going to have great fights. Yeah, but that's what you want. Guys that aren't afraid of the O, that are willing to show how great. Like, trust me when I say this place will be electric on June 27th. It'll be a massive fight. Whoever wins comes out as a superstar. Whoever loses comes out as a big star.
Can you give me your random thoughts on? Sorry, go ahead.
You know, they had the Puerto Rico thing. Xander said, "How do we end up in Brooklyn as opposed to MSG, where we used to see in Matchroom, we're used to seeing Top Rank? So how do we go from Puerto Rico and end up at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York?"
Well, firstly, I think there's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Brooklyn. MSG wasn't available on any date in June. So, you know, and I like this place. I mean, don't forget, this place has staged some massive fights over the years. It's always a good crowd. Even when I came here for Dalton Smith against Super Real Matias, I mean, it was, you know, it was quite a small show, but there was still, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 in, and it was wild. Do you know what I mean? You imagine the whole place is full up, which it will be. So, yeah, look, I love MSG, I love Barclays Center, and I'm just pleased to be in New York because I think that's the right place. You're going to get a huge amount of Puerto Ricans coming to this fight. You're also going to get a huge amount traveling from Philadelphia. Thousands upon thousands, and I think that would be great with the traveling fans.
That exact fear of derailing a promising career has deeply divided boxing royalty. If you ask the legends of the sport, there is absolutely no consensus on whether Zayas is walking into his defining moment or a brutal career misstep.
You know, he had been rumored to be trying to fight yo boy, Virgil, last year. Also rumored to be trying to fight Fundora as well. And essentially he wound up getting ready to fight Boots in June. So I give him all the credit in the world. I give Boots all the credit in the world from pivoting from trying to fight yo boy, Virgil. And now he's fighting Xander. So I appreciate that. And it was interesting on the poll we did, who was the best 154 pounder to win out of Boots and Xander or Fundora or Josh Kelly. And about 54% went with the winner of Boots and Xander. So I find that interesting the way Fundora looked against Thurman. I know it was Thurman, but Fundora's been on the way up. But yeah, Top Rank, they might be just trying to get rid of people when you're not going to renew. If he had already renewed, they probably be like, nah, you can't fight this one. But since you want to be on the out and not renew, we're going to throw you to the wolves. Go get Boots, or let Boots get you, rather.
I'm kind of in line with you. I don't know if it's, I mean, definitely Top Ranking. They're definitely, you know, capable of doing something like that, where if a fighter's contract is in and they you know, hey, go do what it is that you're gonna do. But when I think about Xander Zayas, you know, you got to give them credit. You got to give them credit. You got to feel like they feel that they see something in Jaron Ennis that maybe we are not seeing, right? Or maybe they're seeing something in their own capabilities that we're not necessarily seeing that will mesh well or give them some type of advantage as it relates to Jaron Ennis. So it's an interesting dynamic. I think right now I got to go back and look at more Xander Zayas fights. I've seen a couple of them. I haven't seen like every fight that he's been in before I really make a decision. But right now he feels like a sacrificial lamb to me. I kind of see him like a Villa. Maybe a little bit more athletic than a Villa, in my opinion, just based off what I've seen. But I got to go back and really break him down and really look at him. Kudos to both fighters. You know, Boots has proven that he wants to fight all the champions at 154. If he is successful in this fight, and I think he will be, then, you know, I want to see him in the ring with the towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora. That would be an interesting fight, according to somebody who is, you know, no longer in the sport. They say that he's beatable, but they didn't fight him. So anyway,
pew 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 pew.
It's an interesting dynamic, man. I'm impressed with the fight. I want to see what ends up happening between these two fighters, and hopefully it's a good one. So,
pound for pound king Terrence Crawford and veteran coach Reggie have both issued stern public warnings. They respect the heart, but they firmly believe Zayas is being thrown to the wolves way too early.
And that's a tough fight, you know, especially for Xander at this point in his career. But it shows his heart and his confidence, you know, that he have in himself. And he's ready to go make history for his country. And he's going to do real well in that fight. You know, I just think, you know, right now, you know, it's a little bit too early for him.
In their eyes, stepping into a war of this magnitude without elite-level experience could permanently damage his development and confidence. Yet you have icons like Roy Jones Jr. painting a completely different picture. Jones doesn't see a fragile prospect. He sees a cold, calculated, rangy nightmare. He has praised Zayas for being mature far beyond his 23 years, highlighting his ability to snatch the wind out of opponents with vicious inside work. When the greatest minds in boxing can't agree if a fighter is a genius or a sacrificial lamb, you know you are looking at a rare generational collision.
What do you think? You think he could beat Boots Ennis?
Well, if anybody can, it'd be him, but that's a hell of a task he's taking on at an early age too, you know what I mean? So I would have liked to see him wait just a little bit longer, get a couple more fights in, but sometimes when the money calls, the fight has to happen. Money calls, the fight gotta happen, so it's what it is.
Jaron Ennis, you know, Tim Bradley, fellow Hall of Famer like you, breaks down the fights like you. He said that
Jaron relies on his athleticism too much, and he got holes in his game Xander can exploit. That was something they tried to say, about you when you were doing your thing, Roy. Do you see that with Jaron, or that's not the case?
I don't see it with Jaron. I see Jaron as being a guy that's actually knows what he's doing and knows how to fight. Has talent too, but knows how to use his talent. Therefore, it's nothing to break down. And I think they'll find that out come this next fight.
Does he remind you of yourself at all?
A lot.
How so?
Well, he got so many things he can do. He know how to change things up on the spot. When you can be able to adapt and change up on the spot, that's what you don't find in most fighters nowadays. You don't find guys that if this ain't working, they can go do that. If that ain't working, they can go do that. You understand me? That was the one good thing about Bud Crawford. If this don't work, he can change right hand or left hand and try another, or right hand and try another way. If this don't work, he can go back another way and try it again. So he had options. Most fighters today don't have options. They fight one way and that's it.
Behind closed doors, this isn't just about pride and championship belts. It's a brilliantly calculated gamble. While casual fans argue over who hits harder, boxing insiders see the hidden motives driving this exact matchup. Respected journalist Mike Coppinger recently shattered the illusion, breaking down why this is an absolute masterclass in business by Zayas and his team. Even walking to the ring as the betting underdog, Zayas wins the moment the opening bell rings. He secures a massive career-high payday and instantly skyrockets his global marketability. Instead of taking a safe, boring title defense that nobody cares about, he chose to walk straight into the fire against the most feared man at 154 pounds. That level of ambition commands instant respect from the networks, the promoters, and the hardcore fans. If he loses a tough competitive fight, his stock still goes up. And if he pulls off the upset, he instantly becomes the face of the sport. It's a high-stakes chess move masquerading as a fist fight.
Man, he's a 2-division champion right now. And for him to choose the toughest guy on paper right now, skill-wise, Boots, it's crazy. It's crazy. He could have went a different route, but he chose the best guy.
By the way, when we talk about the difference between championship and belt, you can win belts in different divisions, right? But Boots was the Ring Magazine welterweight champion of the world right now. I don't love the way he got it because Stanionis hadn't fought in a million years. It's his only real significant welterweight win, really, of a guy who's in the top 10, and that guy was really inactive. But he dominated that fight, Mike.
Yes,
dominated.
Yeah, I think Boots looks special in that fight, and there's a reason why there's so much hype around Boots. He's an incredible athlete. He has a great jab. He can box. He's in good fights. He has power. But Xander Zayas at 23 is definitely an improving fighter. And like you said, Gabe, he's an economic engine, right? He could be fighting in Puerto Rico. He just sold out in January. He could fight in New York. He's going to probably have the bigger fan support here. Yeah. And I think this is a great business move for Xander, too. He's going to get a career-high payday. And like you said, 190 he walks around at. He hasn't had much more time at 154.
Everything now hinges on what happens when the talking stops. Sean Porter recently summed up the terrifying reality of facing Jaron Ennis, calling him pure electricity waiting to shock you. For years, Boots has been this mythological force, waiting for the perfect stage to finally prove his greatness to the mainstream audience. He wants to leave no doubt he is the undisputed king of the super welterweights.
I feel like you yourself, like I said, great boxing mind. I was wondering if I could pick your brain with a particular matchup that was announced yesterday. Okay. You sparred with both of these gentlemen. It's Boots and Zayas.
Oh, yes.
From what I understand, Zayas, a little younger into his career. Boots, I believe sometime last year, we were able to get some work with him. And you said it's a little closer than what some people are saying. So how do you view that in particular?
Sure, man. You got two soldiers. We always identify ourselves as warriors, you know? So you guys know that we're warriors, right? But I think a lot of times, a lot of fans, they forget that there's two warriors, and they get so caught up in what one warrior has, and they completely forget that even though this guy's got something, listen, this guy standing across from me, like I was saying on the Porterweight podcast, we understand that this guy is dangerous, and until we put that guy in the right position, we can't just do it all, you know. And I truly do think that Xander has a lot, not just some. He has a lot of attributes that are going to offset what Boots has been known for, what Boots has been able to do. And I think it's going to be a pretty good competitive fight. I do think that Boots is a bit much for the younger Xander, but Xander's had a lot of really good experiences that's made him worthy for this moment. I think right off the top, I would say Boots wins this fight, but it's not an easy fight. And should Boots not just simply sit down at the dinner table and have his way, don't be surprised. And I think that's another part of the game that gets lost. you gotta promote both sides.
Right.
It's always A side, B side, and I get that, I understand that, but you gotta promote the B side because what happens when the B side is doing something that you don't expect? All of a sudden, A side isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing, or he's not who he is. No, it's that the B side's more, but you gotta promote it that way so that people expect more. You know, so I think along the way, that's gonna be my narrative. Is hey, both these guys are really good, and you know, they're both warriors.
But as Hall of Fame legend Winky Wright perfectly stated, you have to beat the greats to become great. You can't cement your legacy by crushing tune-up opponents. You have to step into the ring with young, hungry lions who genuinely believe they can take your head off.
Here with the one and only Ronald Winky Wright. Winky, I have a quick question for you, and it's about the 154-pound division. There is a triangle, and there are a lot of fighters there. Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman. There's also the triangle that I like to call Virgil Ortiz, Xander, and Boots. Right now, it looks like Xander and Boots are going to fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's going to be a good fight, man. The division looking good right now, you know, and I just want to see all the fighters fight each other, man. The best need to fight the best. That's what's going to bring the fans to boxing. And, you know, you can only be great by beating somebody great. You know what I'm saying? You can have a bunch of wins with no great win. You're just a good fighter, but you want to be great, you need to beat another great fighter. So they got the opportunity, and I hope they do it.
What are your thoughts on, if you know about it, the Virgil situation? Virgil Ortiz, him and Golden Boy have kind of like a lawsuit going on against one another. Well, Virgil put the lawsuit out for Golden Boy. Now he's sitting on the sideline waiting for arbitration. Do you think it was right of Xander to step in and say, you know what, I'll take on Boots since you're going to be sidelined for a bit?
I had nothing. I don't know about it. You know, tell you the truth. You just telling me new. But it's good that he stepped in and we can get a fight going. But like I said, the best need to fight the best, and that's going to bring the fans back to boxing.
On June 27th, talent meets ambition in a clash that will reshape the entire division. Will raw, untested youth and a mastermind game plan be enough to short-circuit the most dangerous man in the sport, or will Boots violently remind the world exactly why everyone else was terrified to sign the contract? Drop your predictions in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.